blastmusic247.com. We're changing the industry, one artist at a time.
Take those steps beyond your way. Take those steps when you have a dream. You gotta start. It's the only way. If you're gonna shine, and you're gonna shine, shine, shine. You're gonna shine.
And we are shining on the ranch today. Best part of the week is right here, listening and being on the ranch, because we are spanning the globe for the best in Indie Americana music. We got some great stuff for you tonight. We are brought to you by Blast Music 24/7. They love indie artists. They're out there really doing their best for indie artists. So if you want to listen to new music, you got to go to Blast Music 24/7. And you want your stuff up there because they really are good to their artists, and they actually will pay you for plays and things like that. They also have radios. They actually, well, next week we're going to get all into, the state of the indie artist right now and choices and things like that. We're going to be doing that next week. But this week we are shining bright. We are actually out of a cold spell, and it really been a warm day today. I think it was like 65 degrees. It was just gorgeous, like dog walking weather. It was really nice. So we're going to take you. I heard the sun was out in Canada. So let's see if it's still out. Bruce, we got sun?
Yep. Oh, absolutely. Just probably got another hour and a half of it. We just switched over. We just sprung ahead.
Us too.
Yeah.
So dumb.
For the last time.
You guys are getting rid of it?
Yeah, we're just gonna stick with it now.
Oh, I wish we would. They keep talking about it and they don't do it. It's congratulations.
Yeah.
Go Canada. You.
Well, I don't know if it's all of Canada, but it's British Columbia.
British Columbia.
There we go.
So only British Columbia is not changing?
I don't know. I haven't been watching the news.
Okay.
I've been too engaged in other things.
I know, you're always so busy. Busy. And
Well,
I'm telling all our artists, the videos that we show, you're the only one that I use live video for because they're awesome. They're awesome live videos. I can't say that for all of them that come in. You can't just put up like an iPad and, call it a music video. Like, you can tell that you put some work into yours. So,
well, thank you.
I appreciate that. And we're going to play some songs in a little bit. But, this is your second time on here. How you been?
Well, things have been, it's been quite a hard crawl back from, the strike of COVID. That it took away a 45-year career. But now that I've reached my 50th year, I'm back in the swing. I'm back to touring. I mean, this week alone, I'll be out of town for 3 days over on Vancouver Island with my band Tiller's Folly. And we'll be touring soft seat theaters and appreciative crowds.
That's awesome. I know I was doing all right, and then I moved to Pennsylvania, and I can't get it back. I'm releasing music, but the touring, I did one last summer, but it's been a hard go. I'm glad you're back in the swing.
Yeah, and it's taken a lot of learning. There's been a real learning curve over the last 5 years, and I've had to learn to become my own publicist.
That's a tough lesson, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so much of that. So
it doesn't come naturally. Promoting ourselves.
No, not as an artist. You the last thing you want to say is, "Look at me." Well, now I'm 65. I don't give a rat's patootie. Yeah. I can just go, "Look at me."
Yeah. Come to the show.
Come to the show. That's right.
Yeah.
No time to be shy. No time to play humble.
You know what helped me? I recorded my first album in LA. with Marty Rifkin. And in LA, because the whole city is built on the industry, the entertainment, you have license to shamelessly promote. You sit next to someone at a bar, like you just, getting a drink real quick, and you're going to talk to the guy next to you, and they're going to tell you what they do in the business and like see if you can help each other. Like it's really that way.
Kind of like what you and I are doing right now, minus the drink.
Minus a drink. Although,
Ooh.
unprepared, Bruce.
Oh gosh, what was I thinking?
We were talking about Guinness before, so I thought you had one like at the ready.
My goodness, my Guinness.
We were talking about before the show. We were talking about Ireland. My trip to Ireland last summer. And
yeah, that was
you've
so
been
great
there.
that you shared it on social media, and I just felt like, oh yeah, I need to go back. I really, it's been 40 some odd years.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
That's a
I
lot.
imagine it's changed quite a bit.
Adair now has electricity and running water.
Not sure it did in the 80s.
It was just getting it in the 80s.
Oh my.
But Belfast, Dublin. Yeah, I didn't see as much military as you did, so I'm
Yeah,
happy.
it was a different time.
Yeah. It is interesting though. And you've been there, you appreciate it. Like, we were on a tour for half the trip, and they would tell you, oh, the pub has music, this pub has music, and for the tourists, they always play traditional music. But for the non-tourist places, they're playing like American music, rock music and things like that.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. That Johnny Cash is their favorite.
Yeah.
Well, I can do that.
You do a good Johnny Cash, I bet.
I keep a close watch on this heart of mine. Oh, don't make me get the guitar off the wall.
I know, you're threatening already. You're threatening
That's
already.
right.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's good stuff. Yeah. There is a lot of music around Ireland, which, I really appreciate. No matter where you went, any little town, every pub most pubs had music. Or
And
something.
that's how I first identified as a musician. My family still remembers back in the day when I was 4 and 5 years old. I'd be on the playground belting out rebel tunes at the top of my lungs. I were off to Dublin in the green, Hi, the bayonets, the sun and the sun. Hi, hi. And this sort of stuff. And the rest of the kids would kind of shy off and kind of give me the big hairy eyeball. And yeah, but my dad took me to see the Clancy Brothers and Tommy Makem when I was 6 years old. They bounded onto that stage, and in moments I knew how I would spend the rest of my life. There's never been a doubt in my mind that this is what I was meant to do.
That's amazing. In fact, the first song we were going to listen to, you wrote at 14.
Yep. I had an amazing elementary school music teacher. She was a very hippie-ish Ms. And she was really very, very, okay, you want to play guitar? Play guitar. You want to play the bass? Play the bass. I was playing upright bass in grade 6 and 7 in a folk band. And she never made me read a note. I showed up in grade 8 at high school, and the music teacher was of the, you read that note like that. It was, he had everyone singing or playing, every instrument was playing When the Saints Go Marching In. Dun, 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 dun.
Right.
And he'd handed me a trombone. I'd taken it home for a weekend and figured out where to hold the slide to get this note or that. So they started playing When the Saints Go Marching In, and I started improvising. Well, he stopped the whole thing. He came over to tear a strip off of me. He says, "No, I told you to read the notes." And I looked at him and said, "I don't do tadpoles." and he kicked me out of band, and I left school. And my dad, I left school at 14, and my dad, sort of tough love in the day. He said, well, house rules are this: you're either in school, you either have a job, or there's the door. And at 14, I packed up my guitar and I took option number 3. I started busking on street corners in Vancouver. A much kinder time. It was the hippie generation. So, there was a lot of kindness, and I could sleep on a bus or in a park and play my guitar and make my way, pay my...
You didn't talk to your parents after that, or?
Well, yeah. I ended up, that first winter, I ended up taking a job as a manny. I was babysitting 2 kids. And then, my folks moved out to Alberta, and at 16 they said, oh, that whole school thing, we have a spare room, and the college is two blocks away. They said, you're welcome home. If you want to we can sign you up for the upgrading course. We want you to get your grade 12. So I showed up at Red Deer College at 16, and I started upgrading with my grade 8. And then I learned I could audit the music courses.
Oh, okay.
Theory, harmony, choral arranging in the style of Bach. I sat through those courses, never attended grade 8 math or socials or anything like that. I lasted about 4 months until
they caught on?
They caught on. They went, nope, sorry. Nope, they kicked me out of the college, and I took a job in a pizza parlor. Started working weekends in just a weekend band. Taking solo gigs out in these little tiny boon towns, anywhere I could get to on a Greyhound bus. And a rented PA.
And a rented PA.
Yeah. Oh, I've been to some really, really remote little towns, little mom and pop steakhouses and...
Well, how much money, Bruce, how much money could you make busking back then?
Well, back then, if you made $3 or $4 in a day, I mean, a full meal deal at McDonald's, you could get a Big Mac, a large fries, and a large pop for $1.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for $5, you could actually get a room in a hostel.
Okay.
So, if I did really well, I wouldn't have to. I'd have something in my pocket.
Right. And food in your belly.
Yep.
Okay. I can see the... Go ahead.
Oh, it was a really neat time in the folk music scene because, the beaches would have drum circles and song circles. And they'd have open mics at these little folk clubs that, a kid of 16, oh yes, well, get up and do a song. So it was a really good time for that sort of, learning from the streets up.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you see, I belong to the folk community up here, the Folk Project in New Jersey, and in Morristown, and it's just the most organized community of musicians. They just have all kinds of activities always going. There are song circles, open stages, songwriting, and I mean, it's just such a welcoming community.
Yeah, and you have to engage. Music is all about community. I don't, pop music these days, they got AI produced or, get this beat, lay this. I mean, they can produce their own song on their iPhone. They can, program in a beat and start just and out comes, to me, it doesn't create community, and nothing brings people together better than live music in one form or another, whether it's just acoustic on the street corner. People gather around and there's a sense of, wow, that's so cool. We're a community.
But what's interesting about, Gen Z and Gen Alpha is they gather online. They consider that their community, and they actually are anxious. They're as a group about socialization. I don't know if it's just the aftermath of COVID of how they were raised, whatever, but
Well, it allows you to commute to, get in touch with people that you wouldn't generally pass in the supermarket.
right,
People who share distinct interests that you have. So there can be community online. I mean, you're a perfect example of that.
building community.
Building community, and that's what it's about.
Right,
So,
right. And no matter what, I like there are communities of musicians that I love to network with, but there's nothing better than connecting with your fans. Let me just point out that we are live and interactive, so there are people watching, and you can join us. Facebook, I know they have the like buttons. I could see them last week. And we're also on YouTube, LinkedIn. We're all over the place. And then we go to all the streaming platforms. So, that's the best. I want to do the show live and interact and see what people are up to.
hey,
So let's go listen to your first song you ever wrote at 14 to have the presence to try to pull a song off. So this is called, tell me about Yesterday's News. Why was your first song Yesterday's News?
Yeah, well, no, I had a few. I mean, it's the first song of consequence, I guess you would say. I just recently made third place in the Music in Motion Canada songwriting thing. So, and it was a song that I'd written at 14. So here I am, 51 years later. And it was an interesting time, living on the streets as I was. And, basically the whole thought was, well, some people are so afraid of losing things. And here I've got nothing. I literally have nothing to lose. and you wonder, what have I got to lose? Well, seriously? Nothing.
Right.
So that's one of the themes, but at the same time, feeling like you've been kind of left behind, and that's what the phrase "yesterday's news" means. It was a line that a friend of mine's sister said when she'd broken up with her boyfriend. I said, "Well, how's so and so?" And she says, "Oh, that's just yesterday's news."
Right.
And that phrase sort of stuck in my head until I was, playing my guitar on the street corner one day, and I've always loved nostalgic songs. I love things, music with a timeless quality.
And I have to tell you, for how long ago this song was written, it still plays.
And it was sort of inspired by, the blues music of the 1930s and 40s.
I definitely hear that. All right, let's give Yesterday's News a listen.
Now, this was, I think, the first song I ever recorded. And one of the first songs I wrote this one just after I turned 14. And I thought it was very pretentious and precocious and all those P words. 14-year-old kid writing a blues song. So I shelved it. I shelved it for 37 years. And I figure now I can say with some certainty that I have a divine right to sing the blues. So it's a little song called Yesterday's News. Ain't this a fine time? I got the blues. I
I should be dancing, holes in my shoes. When you got nothing, then there's nothing to lose. I feel like yesterday's news. I'm in the wrong place, the wrong time of year. Not much of anything happens round here. Late nights and the footlights, paying your dues. I feel like yesterday's news. Nothing but gray skies and rain overhead. Nothing but dark nights alone in my bed. Feels like this heart of mine's been battered and bruised. Feels like I've been used, worn down and abused. Nothing but gray skies and rain overhead. Nothing but dark nights alone in my bed. Feels like this heart of mine's been battered and bruised. Feels like I've been used, worn down and abused. I'm in the wrong place, wrong time of year. Not much of anything happens round here. Same old sidewalk, same old lonely avenues. I feel like yesterday's news. Yesterday's sorrows and yesterday's blues. I feel like yesterday's news.
All right, we are back on the ranch. We are brought to you by Blast Music 24/7, your one stop for all indie music. You got to go there and check it out. We also love our listening audiences. We have radio stations, My Indie Radio out in France. We have the Plow Zone out in California, where you can check us out. Plow Zone's Wednesdays, in My Indie Radio is Thursday, and then all the streaming platforms. Hotel Universe also hooks us up, and we are on Roku TV. So we got some people liking that one, Bruce.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. Smooth we got from Billy. Likes that a lot. So
Nice.
people chiming in. That's great to have you watching. But that was smooth. Very smooth.
Yeah. That was a fun night.
So tell me about that venue. It was a great recording. The sound, the mix was great.
Yeah, it's some friends of mine, and they've been sort of trying different things. They rented this acreage and took an old barn and converted it into a studio. And they brought in like technical advanced, like the backdrops and all that sort of stuff, all the video backdrops. They were signed up to, they could broadcast live to anywhere in the world.
Wow.
But
I'd
do you
never
add,
seen a backdrop like that. That's amazing.
yeah,
That's
no,
super cool.
yeah, I searched out some archival images and we just broadcast them on this back wall.
Neat. That's really cool.
Yeah, sort of cutting edge technology. That's about 5 years old. That particular track.
Right, right. Okay. No, it's recording live done right. I mean, you don't get mixes like this from live performances.
Yeah, no, and definitely a 3 camera shoot, and we had probably 80, maybe 90 people in the audience, just enough to keep it intimate. And
Yeah.
that's still my favorite. I like when I can make eye contact with the audience. I mean, it's still a thrill getting up in front of thousands, but at a certain point, you just lose that connection.
Right.
And then you just got to play the rock star, be Roger Daltrey for the day. Pull out your Mick Jagger.
There's something in psychology called groupthink. You change mentality when you are in a larger group. You have a group mentality, a group think mentality.
Yeah.
You're not thinking as one, and it's a different type of audience at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. It still represents community.
It does. You
But
all
just
become this one community at this one moment in time. It's kind of a cool phenomenon, actually.
Precisely. So, yeah, whatever gets us there.
We're musicians. We'll take it.
That's right. Oh, I had it was a lovely gig this weekend, but it was in a tent, and the tent was packed, and the PA was so loud, and it was just overwhelming. All I could hear was overwhelming bass frequencies and that sort of thing. But just at a certain point, you just got to stand up, brush it off, and go, okay, Sweet Caroline.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's funny. We're adding some covers, my band. So this week it's going to be Jolene.
Yep.
People want to hear,
Yeah, well, there is a certain thing, familiarity that draws audiences closer in sometimes, and that's why you do your own version of a classic.
I'm really big on my own version because my band will go, they do this on the record, and I'll just sit there and go, and?
Do I look like I'm made up of vinyl?
Right? Right? I don't. Okay, we did a show with, we compared Dolly Parton with Jolene version of by Beyonce.
Okay.
And I don't know if you've heard it, but
No, I don't think I have.
really rewrote it. Like if you never heard Dolly Parton's version, you wouldn't know this was it.
Wow.
So there is going to me too far afield.
But a good song is a good song, and if it translates into a different genre or style, so be it.
You're not going to believe this, but I think that of rap songs. If you listen to some of the intense lyrics of some of these rap songs, I'm like, you're a production away from being like a country song or, an R&B, or like you can be produced so much differently.
Yeah, I think it was a real, to me, when you add rap to country music, it becomes crap. Like to thank my fiddle player Nolan Murray for that one-liner.
Right. It is a thing. Country rap, it's a thing. It does take it to a different spot. I guess if you add pedal steel, you have to call it country. I don't know.
Yeah, but these days they add it with AI, so.
Well, on the 30th, I'm doing a show. I'm bringing 2 producers in, and we're having this huge AI discussion because it's not going away.
No, and it's unfortunate. I mean, you can rent a program that can give you total production for a song in 7 seconds.
Yeah, you don't have to be a software programmer. You know, you don't need to know any music theory.
No, yeah, that's it. And I'm proud to say that of my 15 albums, every one has musicians' hands on instruments. I mean, sometimes it's synthesizers, but
Yeah,
but it's still, there's a drummer playing. It's not a program.
but remember how controversial synthesizers were. And even when Bob Dylan came out with an electric guitar, it was a collective like heart attack in the audience.
Oh, I know. I just saw a review of a performance that I gave in the 80s where I had won a Yamaha QX3 sequencer, and I entered this big contest, and they had a live thing, and I showed up with the sequencer with all the stuff programmed behind me. And it was the first time they had ever seen that. They were expecting a band, and I stepped on, pressed play, and had an artificial band behind me. That was 1988, and that caused a controversy.
Holy cow. Holy
However,
cow. Yep.
they saw past it. They judged me by my songwriting ability, and I won like 60 hours of studio time. Back in the day when, studio time, we were still recording on 2-inch tape.
I remember those times. I really do. I really do. All right, the next song up is going to be Take Me Back to Memphis.
Yeah. You see, all my life, I've been told, Bruce, you're a songwriter. You ought to go to Nashville. Nashville's the place where songwriters go to make it big. So, 15 years ago, I turned 50, and I decided if there was a time, it was now or never. And my band and I, Tiller's Folly, we signed a 3-year management deal out of Nashville, and we started touring throughout the South. And just all the different influences, the different flavors of music varied from state to state to, as did the flavor of barbecue.
They take their barbecue very seriously down there.
Yeah. Well, the music changes. It has different, sort of regional flavors, like the barbecue does. So, so I started writing songs in those because I love to immerse myself in a genre or a style of music and try and find my own voice within. But after 3 years, unfortunately, all the groundwork that we had done to get the interest of record labels, and we had the interest of a few record labels, and that was when the world went from CDs to streaming, and all the labels went, hold on, I don't know, I don't think we can do this. Right. So I had to quit the 3-year contract, and so I wrote this song because I was like $50,000 in credit card debt after my 3 years experience, and single income family of 4.
Ooh.
So I put it into a song, and I just pictured myself, just the guitar and the shirt on my back, thumbing out of Nashville, the broken. Now where would I try next? Okay. Memphis was kind of interesting. And the style of the music had a really unique sort of sound. So I tried to capture that, and the story I just told you.
All right, let's go to Memphis. Take me back to Memphis.
Without a suitcase in my hand, I'm standing by the roadside roadside without a suitcase in my hand. All I've got's this old guitar and this shirt on my back. Well, I'm thinking about the roadside, got those Highway 40 blues. I'm leaving out of Nashville, got those Highway 40 blues. Not a penny in my pocket, I got holes in my shoes. Yes, I do. And those freight lines wind by like some old steel guitar. No matter where you go, you're always where you are. Take me back to Memphis. Take me back to Memphis. Tupelo, thought I might go to Muscle Shoals. Thought I'd go to Tupelo, thought I might go to Muscle Shoals. Oh, won't you take me back to Memphis to satisfy my soul? And those freight lines wind by like some old steel guitar. No matter where you go, you're always where you are. Take me back to Memphis. Oh, take me back to Memphis. Take me back to Memphis. That's the place for me. Oh, won't you take me back to Memphis? Whoa, Memphis, Tennessee. Oh, take me back.
All right. We are back on the ranch. We are brought to you by Blast Music 24/7. We have our listeners. We love our listeners. Our radio stations are My Indie Radio in Paris and Plow Zone in California. And we got a bunch of people listening now. This is interactive. I'd love to hear from you guys. What's going on? Where are you watching from? Let's hear it. All right, who we got? Oh, we like that picking, right? Right, Billy? That was some picking. Love that. Love that. So, and where was that recorded? Where were you playing?
It was just in a local little church in a corner, and I had rented it for the day to do a photo shoot, and the photographer also was a videographer, and so we said, okay, well let's just do this. I'll do a couple songs here while we're at it, just for the put it in the can.
Right. Awesome job. I try to do too. If I have a photographer, videographer, I try to get as much done as possible when you have them as a captive audience.
That's right.
You know.
More content, the better.
And more the better, right? That's the name of the game right now. Content.
Yep.
Sometimes I'm good at it and sometimes
And dynamic content. Because you got to compete with Twitter, and everything's got to fit into 30 seconds. If you can't catch people's attention in 30 seconds, well, they're certainly not going to sit around and wait to find out what's coming up next.
Yeah, there is a sweet spot with some of this content. My Mindful Mondays, I try to keep the 45 seconds. Give them stop your scrolling, let's take a breath, and they go right. If I go to a minute, nobody wants to listen. Nobody wants to be mindful for a whole minute. They can't handle it.
No, no, and I gotta give it to them in little snippets.
Your music too, because you're introducing new songs, new material to people who don't know you. You want to give them little pieces.
Yeah, and you also get better organic reach on social media. They have, the shorts, that sort of thing in all those media formats. And yeah, those formats don't want to be handling, 6-minute songs.
Oh, I know. 4-minute songs are, foreboding.
Yeah.
Too long.
So you got to capture someone's interest and send them to a place where they can listen to the whole thing.
Well, okay. Speaking of Spotify, which is like a kind of a 4-letter word, you have 7 seconds to capture their interest. If they don't like it in 7 seconds, they're going to go on.
That's right. It's like an elevator pitch. You got to be able to tell them between floors what it is that you show them, what it is that you're about.
Right? And you got to try to get them to listen for 30 seconds to count as a play. So we can get our 0.0003 cents.
That's knock on wood.
Got to have that 0.0003.
Yeah, and I'm sure grateful for platforms like Bandcamp.
Bandcamp blasts music 24/7. I will, plug them because they give all the money back to the artist. Bandcamp has Bandcamp Fridays.
Yeah. And even when they're taking a commission, it's a great platform because people can listen to your music for free. And if they decided to support their artist, they like that, they can download a song for $1 or $1.50.
Right.
And that helps support the artist in this day and age.
Yeah.
Plus, if you want to, you can send for that same $1.50, you can send a song as a gift to somebody, almost like a greeting card, only cheaper.
That's amazing. That's a great idea.
Yeah, and that's something that platform allows you to do. You want to send somebody, that song, that reminds me of my friend so-and-so and that time. Send that song.
I miss mixtape days when somebody would, they like you so much, they give you a mixtape or they give you a CD of like songs. What are they going to do? Send you a playlist? Like that's no, that's just.
Well, I've been going through my 15 albums plus, because back in the 80s, as controversial songwriting king of the West Coast, I was on about a dozen of these little mixtapes that different radio stations would put out.
Yeah.
Who's our best local artists in country this year? And I'd show up one year in country, and the next year I'd be in the rock station, and then doing big pop and all that sort of stuff. So I just put that journey together on my website, songsmith.ca.
Nice plug. I love it. Slid that
so
right
check
in
it
there,
out.
Bruce. You slid that right in there. No one even noticed. Okay. That's a great idea because I write in a lot of different genres, and that's a great idea to group them together like that.
Yeah, and I've started doing that with just putting some playlists together. Like during the late 80s, early 90s, I was into calypso, reggae, Latin music, and I was writing my own. And I had a band that was doing really, really well. So I put together a playlist for people to do housework by.
Okay.
So I'll send you a copy next time you're doing your dusting. And you
All
can
right.
hear my...
Atlanta. You're going to be in Atlanta?
Not this year, I'm afraid. I've got... I won so big last time, they won't let me enter anymore.
See?
Well, not till next year again. Not till 3 years have passed.
Right.
That was such an honor and such a viable boost to the career that I had lost through COVID.
Yeah.
And it's really helped me a lot. Tammany, she's such a sweet person, and like yourself, dedicated to promoting independent artists.
That's indie artists. She is a wonderful person. It's a wonderful organization, because as indie artists, we don't get support,
Yeah, and most people these days, when they do advertise showing support for indie artists, they always have their hands out, and they always want to upgrade you to, oh well, for this much money we can, the International Singer-Songwriting Association's never asked me for a dime.
Right. So rare.
And invited me to just great adventures. That trip down to Atlanta was returning to the South after a dozen years. I'm really missing that.
Great song circle. We had a song circle going, didn't we?
Yeah, there was some great and great artists, and you're there with your kind. I was there with my tribe, and they were from all over the world. It was just amazing.
It's an amazing experience. All right, we keep blabbing, and we're not going to get to your last song here, which is Lean Times, talking about kind of COVID. It sounds like a more recent song.
Yeah, it was from before COVID, but during COVID, it really took on a whole different level of poignancy. I'd written the song about our older generations, our aunts and uncles, our grandparents, and at a certain point, a lot of them lose connection. They're squirreled away somewhere, and they lose connection. And this song was meant to promote reaching out. Drop by with a coffee, phone them up, send them a card, whatever it is. Show them that you're still there. If you can engage with them, because back in their day, it was all about community. We've lost so much in that, with the sense of community. We don't greet, don't make eye contact as we pass strangers on the street. It's just a terrible thing. And I just thought, well, back in the day, in your grandfather's day or your parents' day, community meant a lot, and they would have been there for me. So, I need to reach out, if that's, like I said, even just dropping by with a cup of coffee, or getting them out, for breakfast somewhere.
Right.
So that's the heart of this song.
And it definitely applied during COVID. It was lean times all over the place,
And so many of those people, that sort of went underground back then haven't come back. They haven't come out.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Especially our seniors community.
Right. And even to live music and things like that, it's slowly, coming around. All right, let's listen to Lean Times.
And a little song called Lean Times. Such a long time, I hope you're doing well. Me, I guess I'm doing fine. Some days it's hard to tell. Times I feel my life is passing me by, and I feel like letting go. I don't know why, but in the meantime, you could lean on me. When your world is troubled, Yes, it's sure been good to see you. I wish you all the best. How I'll keep on keeping on seems it's anybody's guess. These days I feel like I've got nothing left to say. Just turning over pages, turning down days. But in the meantime, you could lean on me. When your world is troubled, I'll be as near as I can be. And when it gets so hard, I'll be strong as an old tree. When the lean times come, you could lean on me. Oh, when the lean times come, yes, you could lean on me. When the lean times come, you could lean on me. In the lean times, you could lean on me. You just call my name, just call my name. In the daytime. Thank you so much.
And we are back on the ranch, brought to you by Blast Music 24/7. Hey, any indie artist out there, if you want to be on the ranch, just go to my website, randieoneil.com/shows, fill out the form, and we'll get you on. We got people chiming in about that one. Rye Videos is like another fabulous show and guest. Thank you, Randie and Bruce. Oh, thank you guys for chiming in and listening. Billy likes that one too. Well done. Well
Nice.
done. Inspirational. Love that. Love that. So, Bruce, what do you got going on?
Well, I've got a number of things. My Celtic group, Tiller's Folly, we're on tour this weekend. Going over to Vancouver Island, we're visiting Port Alberni, Nanaimo, and Sydney, which are all places in our 30 years as a sort of a Canadiana band with the Celtic flavor.
Okay.
Very close to Americana. It's sort of Pacific Northwest America, Canadiana.
No, I agree. I agree.
And I've been promoting, well, we started performing these songs I'd written about history-based songs about the Pacific Coast. And we started playing them in schools 30 years ago. And I was asked to create a study guide to tie them in with the curriculum. So I came up with this study guide called Stirring Up Ghosts. And we played hundreds of schools throughout the province and teaching kids, giving them an appreciation for our local heritage and history.
What a
And-
fabulous idea.
Yeah,
Bruce,
so
very
so
clever.
now I've been doing it for 30 years. We've recorded 30 songs of BC history, and I've put together a site called stirringupghosts.ca and started producing songumentries. So songumentary is a song based on history, and then I'll do a documentary short to introduce the story behind the story. Behind
Yeah,
the
I
song.
agree. We got comments coming in that's just brilliant way to teach. You want kids to listen and appreciate history. Put it
Yeah.
to music.
We called it edutainment.
Educate.
Edutainment. And again, you've got to keep it very dynamic, and you break it down into those little 30-second things. So check out stirringupghosts.ca if you're at all interested in Pacific Canadian culture, because it's something that has been overlooked. Again, from being from the Irish sort of background, the bardic tradition was always a big part of the music.
Right.
Preserving your history and your culture in song.
And that's the origin of a lot of Irish music was set to,
Yeah.
history of it and keeping, events alive and retelling, a storytelling.
Yeah. So that was my calling. I wanted to become the bard, timeless, recorder of history. And that's what Stirring Up Ghosts has become, because there was no one doing it, or very few people writing songs about Pacific Canadian history.
Right. Very, very clever. All right, and what people want to find you, where's your websites?
Songsmith.ca.
Songsmith.
.ca, yes, that's my solo one, and then I've got tillersfolly.com. That's my Celtic band. And lately I've broken down over COVID, and I've launched a tribute band.
A tribute to
Van Morrison.
Van Morrison.
Yeah, the Moondance album in particular, with a 6-piece band including 2 horn players, and it's just amazing. And people just respond. We're packing houses. People are responding so favorably to it. I've had people come up to me because, Van Morrison, though he's a legendary songsmith. He's also legendary for not, basically his onstage persona is somewhat lacking.
Kim agrees. She thinks that's a great album. We got some.
It's an amazing album, and I've had people come up to me, wait for me off the side of the stage, and just tell me, "Hey, I've seen Van Morrison live 4 times, and I enjoyed your show more." We sound just like the album, and apparently live, Van has lacks somewhat in charisma.
I think that about Dylan too, but
yeah. And anyhow, it's proved something different. It's something I appreciate. It's a challenging book of songs to sing.
Yes.
Van Morrison in his heyday had an amazing soulful range.
Right.
One of my major influences too. So
there you go. All right, we are running out of time. Thank you, everyone who is watching. We are here every Monday night going live. Next week, we're going a sneak peek behind the industry a little bit, talking to some industry kind of movers that are helping the indie artists. So check us out next week, when we will be back on the ranch.
Okay, well,
I'm on the road, don't know where it goes. I'm on a road, follow your heart, it won't let you down. Follow your heart, take the steps beyond your